Hey everyone, it's Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. I have a fun and quick idea to share with you to add to your reading journal. So I have always taken photos of me reading, primarily with my book stand and my breakfast. But lately I've made more of an effort to take actual photos of me reading, especially with my cats. That's another easy category. But I take these photos and then sometimes I do things with them in my me album and sometimes I forget. So I decided this year, since I left, a good chunk of pages for my monthly reading sections, if I had a leftover space, I could add in a collage of these photos. It would be super fun to add to my reading journal. I've never done this before, but I absolutely love how this came out. This collage, I used an app called PicFrame to make the collage, and I think I sized it 7x9. That way it was pretty good size, and I could shrink it down to what I needed for the left-hand side. So I then decided on the right-hand side, I will go ahead and do a ton of book themed stamps. And of course, I went with Jennifer. Jennifer Syncopation Designs makes an incredible series of book stamps. I love all of them. So I grabbed a ton of them, and you saw me kind of throw those on my desk at the beginning of this video. And I just went through them and looked and found some different sentiments that I could use for this page. And then I am going to color them in because why not? It's so fun to color, especially as a grown-up. We don't get to color enough in our life, right? So I'm going to go with blues and greens since that was the predominant color in my collage. And I did notice in my January collage, while I had screenshots of where I was at with my audiobooks, I didn't have like a photo of me listening to my audiobooks. I did get one for February, and you'll see that in a second, but that's definitely something I want to work on, getting photos of me, walking with my audiobook or even doing dishes with my audiobook, because that's probably the only reason I do my chores. Is that I have an audiobook. I mean, let's be honest. And I cannot be the only one. I'd love to know in the comment section, does audiobooks help you get things done? Like I said, definitely does for me. So I messed up on the book lover. I didn't like how that stamped in the crease. So I went ahead and grabbed some spare dot grid paper and stamped it and then just put it over the spot. And that worked out perfect. I also found some really old Happy Planner washi tape, and one of them says let's stay home, and then another one is like a green leaf pattern. So I'm going to layer those in with a dark blue grid tape, and I love how that came together too. I do wish that I would have paid more attention to alignment, so that way the collage and the top of the stamping kind of aligned, but whatever, it works. My whole point of this was just to add, like I said, add in something fun to my reading journal, something completely different, and also just have fun with my stamps. Because I want to do something with these reading photos, and it's, another kind of in the back of my mind goal is taking more photos of me reading, because that really does make me happy, and I read all the time. So need to get those photos. All right, so I stamped Go Away Reading 4 times. Then I have Reading in My Happy Place 3 times. Those are kind of tilted to add a little bit more movement. Then in the middle, I have a couch, which I am just obsessed with that couch stamp. I love it. And next to it, I put kind of 2 piles of books from, I think, 2 different stamp sets. Then below that, I have Book Lover. And I colored in the couch green because that's my favorite color. But like I said, my photos have green and blue in them. And I think it is adorable and so awesome that 2 of my main photos are with my cats. The top one is my tan cat named Tango. And we do a lot of funny research. I mean, this is off topic, but we do a lot of research about orange cats and how orange tabby cats do the strangest things. And our cat is the same way. He is just adorable, but does the goofiest things. Then on the bottom is my cat Chase, and he is a giant fluffy Nebelong, and we just love him. But both of my cats, love when I read because they can climb right in my lap. It's the best. Love reading with them. All right, moving on to February. I wound up with a colorful mix of photos, and this time I wanted to use a stamp subscription set from Studio Calico. I have no idea if they're gonna offer it again. I could reach out to them and ask them, but I just love this stamp set. It is 6x8 and has lots of fantastic phrases on it. And I wanted to pair it with some In a Creative Bubble die cuts, since In a Creative Bubble, Geraldine, she made this stamp set. So I went in my printables system. I'll leave that linked in the eye, but I went to my die cuts and my printables and I found a ton of die cuts to use, and I'm just going to make a fun little grid and a little mix of the die cuts and the stamps, and it's going to turn out fantastic. I love it. I stuck mainly with yellows and pinks and reds since it was February, despite the fact that one of my books has purple and another one has blue. But I really love the colors that I chose. And I even found a die cut of a bookshelf with a plant on the top of it. I really loved that. I also grabbed a really big tag that has an audio book on top of it, so that was fun. Then I even found a clear sticker that is from In a Creative Bubble that says read. It's not from the stamp set. I don't know where it's from, but I do know it is In a Creative Bubble. So right next to that, I stamped Cozy Up with a Good Book. There's also a girl image with like a girl holding up a book, and I love that. So I am going to stamp that in a second. I have Time to Chill, and then Comfy and Cozy. Now, the pink books that I fussy cut out, those might be from something else. They might be from a really old like Paper Person kit. I don't know if you guys remember Paper Person, but that might be where those are from. Anyways, I stamped in red all the books, and in the same type of font, I will stamp in yellow So Many Books, So Little Time in the bottom left-hand corner of my grid. And then I noticed in my Studio Calico stash, I have a newer stamp set that has banners of the months and also an alphabet stamp set. So I will use that to stamp FEB for February. And on that giant tag, I just stamped Love This Book in red, and I like how it coordinates with the large tag. And adding in a little bit more black, sprinkled some black hearts around the spread since I knew the read was black, and also I'm going to stamp the February that is in black. And I'm not doing any journaling for this. I don't feel like that is necessary. It's pretty self-explanatory. I also do read while I'm drying my hair because I have that book stand. I mean, it's the only way to dry my hair is reading my book, but I love that photo. I remember to take one in the bathroom when I was drying my hair. So that is fantastic. And I even got a photo of Lost and Lassoed while I was cuddled up in a blanket. Oh, and there's the audiobook photo that I have in the top right corner because I have my headphones in and I'm walking. So good job to me for getting a mix of photos. But there you go, quick collages using a variety of stamps and products. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing this little update in my reading journal. I'd love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you're new to my channel. Have a great day. Bye.